Hello everyone and most warmly welcome to this press conference of Finnish and
I'm very pleased that my colleague Magdalena Andersson could visit Finland so soon after her election as the Prime Minister of Sweden. This also shows the closeness and depth of the Swedish and Finnish bilateral relations. Our cooperation is natural and based on common values: democracy, openness, rule of law, and welfare state. I'm looking forward to a continued close cooperation. Today we have the opportunity to discuss our bilateral relations and many topical issues on our common agenda at the European Union. Combating climate change is a priority both for Finland and Sweden, and we are hands through on the EU's climate package for Fit for 55. We are expecting long and difficult negotiations on the Commission's proposals, and we agreed that we will need to continue to work for an ambitious package. We also discussed forest issues. Forestry is important for both of our countries, not only because we have a long history of sustainable management of our forest, but also because our forest industry is leading the way in developing new products to replace non-renewable materials. We will continue to work together with Sweden to enhance the understanding of sustainable forest management in Northern Europe. The debate around taxonomy, the criteria for sustainable financing, shows the importance and sensitivity of this topic to our citizens. We will meet again with Prime Minister Andersson next week in the European Council. We have today also discussed issues like EU's resilience, strategic autonomy, and security and defense. In the current environment with global power competition, the EU needs to be a stronger security provider and better prepared to face, for example, hybrid threats in the different forms. The COVID-19 pandemic has touched us all in many different ways. It is important to look together at lessons learned and what we can do better together in the EU and as neighboring countries in crisis situations like this in the future. And last but not least, I'm pleased to note that our Minister of Interior signed a letter of intent in February this year on deepened cooperation between Finland and Sweden in crisis preparedness, civil defense and rescue services. This is yet another important step forward for us in enhancing cooperation between our two countries. And now I would like to give the floor to my dear colleague, Magdalena. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much, and thank you, Prime Minister Marin. And thank you so much for welcoming me here in Finland and Helsinki, and also to doing it on such a short notice. And it's been a pleasure to exchange thoughts and ideas during our meeting. And of course, it was a priority for me to make Helsinki my first foreign destination as Prime Minister of Sweden. To cross the Baltic Sea and visit our eastern neighbors as the first foreign trip, that is a tradition for Swedish prime ministers. And it reflects the profound and long relationship between Finland and Sweden. And this relationship is important in many different aspects. It is important for our security, our defense capability, and for our crisis preparedness and our crisis response. And as close neighbors, we do depend on each other in making our region safe. And I appreciate our close collaboration on security and defense, and I hope this can be developed further even in the coming years. And during our meeting today, it has been evident that both Sweden and Finland strive to lead the green transition in order to reduce emissions, but also as a way to strengthen our competitiveness and create new jobs. And I'm looking forward to a future exchange on knowledge and experience and ideas how to tackle climate change. But I would also like to see our region as a positive example for the world, how we can combine a green transition and at the same time creating the jobs of the future. And while the pandemic has reminded us that openness between our countries should never be taken for granted, there is no uncertainty that Sweden's and Finland's relationship remain stable and prosperous. And our countries also cooperate closely within the European Union on climate and forestry, and on making sure that rule of law and our common values are always upheld, just to take a few examples. And I'm sure that we will continue cooperating on these issues and many others in the years to come. So I'm very hopeful that our first meeting we had today will be the beginning of a long friendship between not our countries, but also between you and me. So with that remark, I think we're ready to take questions.
Okay, thank you so much, Prime Ministers. And now we have time for some questions. We have all the journalists here waiting online. And to be polite, we start with the Swedish press and Maria Davidsson. Maria, your microphone is on now. Please make your question.
Yes, hello. I have a question for both of you about the Winter Olympics in China. The US recently announced a diplomatic boycott, and I'm wondering how you will act. Are your governments also considering a diplomatic boycott? And a second question to the Finnish Prime Minister, if I may. When will you decide on which fighter jet you will pick? And is it correct that your defense forces prefer the Lockheed Martin plane? Thank you.
Well, thank you so much for the question. For the first question, this isn't something that we have discussed within our government. And concerning about the next question, or the second question, I must say that the HX tendering process is almost finished, but I cannot comment neither the offers nor the candidates at this point, or the procedure any further.
When it comes to the Olympic Games, this is something we will have to discuss in our government. We have not reached a decision yet.
Okay, thank you so much. Then we go to the Finnish journalist, and Lauri Nurmi, you were the first one to raise your hand. So Lauri, now your microphone is on. Can you, Lauri, hear us? Shall we try again? Lauri, can you hear us? Now your microphone is on, but we cannot hear you.
Hello.
Can you repeat? Now it seems that it's working.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, now we can. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. Lauri Nurmi from newspaper Iltalehti. Good afternoon. A question to Prime Minister Magdalena Andersson. According to foreign and security policy sources, Finnish Defence Force has suggested that Finland would buy an American F-35 fighter. Did you talk to Prime Minister Marin about Gripen? Have you made a last-minute offer from the Swedish government, for example, for a defence alliance, and how it would affect on bilateral defence cooperation if Finland does not choose Gripen? Thank you.
I mean, the Swedish offer is on the table, and it's of course up to the Finnish government to decide what planes they are to buy. So I think it's really up to the Finnish government to make that decision. Having said that, of course, I'm from Sweden. I think the Swedish planes are fantastic, and I know the pilots love them.
Okay, thank you. And because we don't have any more Swedish journalists, we continue with the Finnish one. And Olli-Pekka Sulasma, YLE, you are the next one. Now your microphone is on. Olli-Pekka Sulasma, we can't hear you. Can you hear us?
Kuuletko nyt?
Nyt kuuluu. Ole hyvä.
Ja. Hej, jag vill gärna fråga på svenska också om jaktplanen, beslutet. Magdalena Andersson, kommer Sverige att vara besviken om Finland nobbar JAS Gripen. Och samasta aihepiiristä haluaisin kuitenkin kysyä pääministeri Marinilta myöskin, että voitteko sen verran esimerkiksi rajata tätä Suomen aikataulua, että jos tiedätte esimerkiksi, että se päätös ei tule tällä viikolla?
Jag kan svara först då. Nej, men vi ska inte gå händelserna i förväg, utan vi har ett svenskt erbjudande som ligger på bordet. Det finns ju också andra erbjudanden och då är det upp till den finska regeringen att fatta sitt beslut. Men med det sagt såklart så, jag som svensk statsminister och ju känner väl till de svenska flygplanen kan ju bara säga att de svenska flygplanen håller mycket hög kvalitet. De är mycket uppskattade av piloter för att de har hög funktionalitet.
Ja tähän kysymykseen suomeksi en valitettavasti tässä kohtaa voi tarkemmin kommentoida tätä prosessia, aikataulua tai sisältöä. Olemme kertoneet, että päätös tehdään tämän vuoden puolella.
And then the next question goes to Olli Kurkisuonio, Kauppalehti. Please.
Ossi, that is. In a video call between Presidents Putin and Biden, Putin sought binding guarantees that NATO will not expand east. Does Sweden and Finland feel affected by this statement? And how will the coming HX decision affect both the bilateral and the trilateral defense cooperation between Sweden and Finland, and then between US?
About the question, of course, Finland nor Sweden are member states of NATO, but we are working closely with NATO, and if there would be a situation where Finland would consider joining NATO, the decision would be ours and ours alone, but this isn't the current situation. We are closely working with NATO, but we are not planning of joining.
It's the same situation for Sweden. I mean, we do have a close cooperation internationally when it comes to this area, both with Finland, but we also cooperate with NATO. But being members of NATO is not something that is on the table right now.
And we have time for one more question, and Marianne Sundström, you were the next.
Min fråga går till Magdalena Andersson. Sverige och Finland brukar betona sitt samarbete i krishantering och så vidare. Men coronakrisen har ju visat på problem här och där, bland annat vid gränserna och med en olika syn på hur corona ska hanteras. Vad har Sverige lärt sig och hur ser man på hur det nordiska samarbetet i liknande kriser ska skötas från och med nu?
Jag tycker en viktig lärdom är att man kan aldrig ta ett samarbete för givet, utan det är viktigt att hela tiden utveckla samarbetena. Och där tycker jag det är väldigt bra att vi kunde ju nu tidigare år underteckna en gemensamt ambition att ha ett nära samarbete också vad gäller krisberedskap och krishantering. Och där tror jag det finns många saker som vi kan utveckla. Vi har ju haft ett närmare militärt samarbete under de senaste åren, men jag tror att det finns goda möjligheter att utveckla samarbetet också när det handlar om civila kriser. Så här tror jag finns mycket det finns mycket potential framåt där.
Okay, thank you. I think we can take one more question. Valtteri Kyykkänen, go ahead. You have the last question.
Yes, I have a question for Prime Minister Andersson. Sweden, or the Svenska Kraftnät, has restricted the import of electricity in the Nordics recently, and this has raised the price of electricity in Finland. So, for example, the Finnish Energy Authority has said that this is against EU regulations. How do you see this situation at the moment, and is there any chance that Sweden might change its policy concerning electricity imports?
I think there is a dialogue right now between Svenska kraftnät and Fingrid, I think it's called. And so I think that it's a good dialogue, and it's important that we do have a dialogue. But also, of course, that we look into the future, how we can, in a better way, connect our countries when it comes to electricity, so that we can help each other in different situations.
Okay, thank you so much. Actually, we don't have any more questions, and we are slowly running out of time. So thank you, Prime Ministers. Thank you, journalists. Thank you, photographers. Have a very good day. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.